Hey everyone, welcome back to Week Ahead Astrology Breakdown. I'm Matthew Oliver with Stillwater Alchemy. And before we begin, I want to answer a few questions I was been getting. 2 weeks ago, I advertised that I'm doing beauty elections, Venus elections with regards to beauty, relationships, marriage. People were asking if I do general electional astrology for work or releases of creative content or just overall we're curious about electional astrology. So, as I said, then you can elect anything. You can elect when you do an email campaign. You can elect when you get your teeth cleaned. You can elect when you get married. You can use astrology for anything. So, I have different packages for electional astrology, one of which I just go out throughout the month and then highlight auspicious days based on your individual natal chart. And then I can also do that as a consistent monthly service, just a one off. And then if you want to get more specific, like if you are launching a book or a course, or even if you want to plan a trip with a loved one, you want to see what the best dates are for your chart. Like I said, it can be literally used for anything. So if you are curious, feel free to email me and we can talk about that further. Okay. So let us start off the week, shall we? So this is one of those weeks where we are really following the moon because all the other planets are going to be essentially in their respected signs until we get to July 10th. Mars will then move into Virgo, but even then we're still wrapping up Mars's transit in Leo here. So a couple things I want to note right off the gate. Number one is that Venus in Leo is going to be in very close aspect to Uranus in Taurus. Even though she is moving away from Uranus, she's slowing down. So that energy is going to be felt for this entire week moving into next week. Like that interaction between beauty and pleasure and change or unexpected surprise is going to be prevalent. One, you can look to the houses in which Leo and Taurus rule to see where this Venusian, Uranian energy can manifest. This could be in your own personal style of wanting to shake things up, how you want to be perceived. This could also be your own physical beauty. You might be wanting to change something as maybe minor as your hair color, hairstyle, or something a bit bigger in terms of getting maybe a beauty procedure or plastic surgery. I would personally recommend if you're going down the plastic surgery route or something more major, or that's going to take more time or an investment of money, that you contemplate doing that after Venus's retrograde. Venus begins her retrograde on the 22nd of July. It'll finish on the 3rd of September. Just because with a Venus retrograde, you may regret things or you may want to edit these things. And there's nothing wrong if you have a surgery scheduled for that date. If you can switch it, I would recommend it. If it's already set in stone, per se, then you might just want to be crystal clear with your surgeon or whoever is holding space for you in that arena. It's kind of one of those things like where Mars is retrograde, you wouldn't really want to engage in surgery either if you can avoid it, especially if it's more of an elective surgery like a beauty surgery normally is. It's best to ensure that Venus is just in full strength to aid you in that process. And why I'm bringing this up is this Venus-Uranus square might be prompting you on where you want to shift. And of course, this can be money that you're wanting to shift into different investments, or this can be education or what knowledge you are calling in, or opportunities and career. Because again, ideally, your career or devotion should be bringing you joy and pleasure, or the relationships in which you are engaging. Maybe you want to switch up who you serve or what clients you're attracting, or maybe you're going to be seeking a different job so you can have a better relationship with your boss. These are all going to be bigger energies or just things to take note of. I know personally there was one time where I had a Venus Uranus square and I ended up moving homes. There was my one home that was just too small. This was right around the pandemic. Yeah, it was in 2021. And so it was very abrupt for my landlord of me moving. Even for me, I wasn't intending on moving. It was just a series of incidences where it was just like boom, boom, boom. And then I ended up shifting homes. And it all worked out in my favor, even though there were some bumps along the way. And a relationship was definitely changed, not just between me and my landlord, but between me and another energy that happened during that space. So remember, with a Venus retrograde or any retrogrades, you're reevaluating the energy of that planet. And Venus is in those pre-retrograde shadows. So it's just something to note and a big theme that we're going to be working on, because that Venus-Uranus energy is going to be activated many times over the next 6 to 8 weeks. Secondly, of course, Monday, we have the full moon in Capricorn. So that full moon workshop is already available on my YouTube channel. I'll put the link in the description of this video. A big thing with this full moon is the moon's opposition to Mercury, in addition to the moon making a trine to Jupiter and Uranus. Let's start with the goodies first. An abundant blessing, having moon aspecting Jupiter. And furthermore, there's a little bit of mutual reception given that the moon is exalted in Taurus. Jupiter doesn't have any essential dignity in Capricorn per se, neither in Taurus. However, there's this energy of fertility, growth, expansion. So I want you to be aware of what you're wanting to call in and where maybe there is a either mindset reframe that needs to happen where greater support can aid you in that goal or expansion. Or is there either a business opportunity, a business relationship, or some kind of investment, given that Mercury also rules business and commerce, that needs to take place, which may trigger or evoke scarcity, or can I do this? Remember that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which can sometimes be more either austere or wanting just to have the bare minimum, so to speak, or not wanting to have all this superfluous or excess involved. But this is your reminder that you get to have it all. And if you're not maybe seeing the expansion, or if you're worried about the expansion, then we have to work on the nurturing element of this Mercury in Cancer to support you. And so I break that down a lot more in the Capricorn full moon workshop. It's very bite-sized. I think it's 25 minutes in total. So feel free to engage in that whenever you feel called. One other thing too, with Jupiter and Taurus, I have another resource for that, the Jupiter and Taurus webinar, if you really want to understand the greater blessings that can be had during there. But remember with Jupiter, as with any planet, you have to actually engage in this energy. I'm a firm believer that you cannot miss out on Jupiter's blessings. But if we don't have a consistent mindset that we attract blessings, that things can be easy, that we are going to listen to the intuitive hits to take advantage of that planet's energies, then we're probably not going to perceive them as such. And especially, in my opinion, when you have a strong moon Jupiter aspect, this is a full moon, which means it's even more potent with Jupiter aspecting it. There is likely something to be huge, expansive, momentous, prosperity-wise, career-wise, love-wise, that's about to be taking place. And for some of you, you have already been experiencing this already. And so one final thing with this full moon activation is that it's a full moon ruled by Saturn, given that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is currently retrograde, which is fine. Saturn's retrograde 4 to 5 months of every year anyway. But we also have this Saturn co-presence with Neptune, and the moon is going to be aspecting Neptune as well. So this is almost for me like a long withstanding goal, right? Saturn, Neptune. Or this can be a dream that you have been wanting for a very long time. This could be legacy. This is what, for me, this full moon is activating as well. And like with any dream or goal, we first have to think it into reality, and we have to believe that it's possible. So that is going to be your homework, and that is going to be the work that's required of you to fully take advantage of this full moon energy. All right? Boom. I know that was a lot, but sometimes I get really passionate about the astrology because I'm like, it's just, sometimes it literally is the saying, it's written in the stars. Sometimes it's so clear. We just have to trust the step in front of us. And then the next step will be revealed. And then the next step will be revealed. But what often happens is that humans, including myself, we just see the end goal and we want that right away, but we're not willing to just take it one step at a time. Or we're not having the faith that's going to happen if we just take it one step at a time. Or we don't even just want to take the walk. It's like, just take it one step at a time. Just do the work, trust in the process, and it'll all be revealed as it should. Tuesday. So we can see here Tuesday at the start of the morning, Pacific Standard Time, we have this exact Moon-Pluto conjunction. So with that being said, there is likely, especially with the moon in aspect to Neptune, depending on your time zone, late Monday, beginning of Tuesday, that you're going to feel either a power or motivation or to seek the truth, or the truth will be revealed to you, or will this be a healthy obsession or maybe an unhealthy obsession towards one point of your life that you just want to get this done. It will probably be very loud given that we're still in that full moon activation. So pay attention to what's being revealed, the signs, the synchronicities, your intuition on Tuesday, because it's likely to be very obvious. And with the moon moving into Aquarius later that day, we're then also going to be having the moon in direct square with Jupiter. So this can also be an energy of something significant is going to shift, which is then going to unlock other energies you're going to have to handle all at once. This isn't a bad thing. It's kind of the energy of when it rains, it pours. It just means be prepared. I often tell this to clients, like if you got everything that you wanted, you got the job, you got engaged, you got X, Y, and Z, would you physically be able to handle it all at once? And or would you be able to enjoy it all at once? I think it's Abraham Hicks that stated, like, if you have all the food that you were ever to consume in your entire life laid up before you, you wouldn't be able to finish it all. You wouldn't be able to enjoy it all. It'd be way too overwhelming. This may be an energy of you need to ensure moon in Capricorn. This even goes back to Monday, that you're preparing yourself with this full moon activation to have the foundation, to have the structure, to bring in everything you've ever wanted. And this can also be, I mean, in tarot, Capricorn energy is ruled by the devil, not in a satanic sense. It's what we are worshiping or giving false worship to, or what we are chained to. And that's kind of reminding me what this moon Pluto energy is like. What are you obsessing about? What are you giving your time and energy to that may or may not be supporting you? And that, of course, can be your own mindsets, your own limiting beliefs, your own fears. And if you keep giving your time, energy, money, resources to this energy, it's likely that the foundation that you want and need to build your dreams may not be getting the time, love, and energy that it needs. So that can just be something to note as well, that with the very loud, obvious energy that's presenting itself on Tuesday, what is no longer in alignment, what do you not need to focus and obsess over, which I understand can be easier said than done, but even just noting, it's like fear of not having enough, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear that this will all be taken away, whatever that fear, it's like, is that real? Well, if you're getting offers of love, new jobs, new health, then in that moment where all these beautiful opportunities are coming to you, then that fear is not true in that moment. So then you can move on and take advantage of that moon Jupiter square that's going to be presenting itself throughout Tuesday. When we move to Wednesday, the moon is going to be making a square to Uranus. The moon is also making that wide applying opposition to Venus. So Wednesday, Thursday this week are a little bit tricky just because the moon is facing some of those obstacles in terms of oppositions and squares to a few of the planets. However, if you did the work, I mean, consistently do the work. But if you've done the work with this full moon, I think it'll be easier for you to navigate. It might also be like, let's just take the analogy because it keeps popping in my head. This also seems to be an energy that a lot of people are working on new jobs or new opportunities or new expansion within career. So I'm going to keep working with that because it seems like a lot of people are in that mind frame right now. So let's say you do get a new job or a new offer and you're super excited. You're probably then going to have to tell your current employer, your current boss, your current business or company that you work for that you're leaving. So that can be this moon Uranus of being stressed or overwhelmed, or how are they going to react? Are they going to be able to go? Maybe you have to leave sooner than 2 weeks, a new job once you start right away. Or let's say if you're leaving a relationship of any kind, including a coworker or business relationship, then there will be that strain as well in terms of you doing what's best for yourself, Venus and Leo, versus maybe what your company or organization thinks is best for them. So there is going to be this balance of what do you want versus what everyone else wants. Are you going to focus on you and your dreams? You're going to be worried about other people and what they want. And there can be a middle ground where everyone gets to win. However, on Wednesday, there's likely to be this push and pull where you need to then focus on what you are needing mentally, moon in Aquarius, to be able to shift through these fixed energies of your life, Taurus, Leo. And then, of course, if you want to get a sneak preview or you want to get a preemptive start to mitigate this lunar energy or emotional turbulence, I would look to the houses in your chart ruled by Aquarius, Leo, and Taurus to then see where you can mitigate this. And again, I've spoken about this before. This is a good reminder, though, now that some of this may not be happening to you. You may be holding space for others as they are moving in their career, in their relationships, in whatever part of their life. So you may be affected by it, or you may be holding space for those that are affected, or a bit of both, right? Now, Thursday, we have this moon, we have Mercury sextiling Uranus, because Mercury is at those final degrees minutes of, this is interesting with my words as well, because I'm always very aware, given this is being recorded live and me going back and forth, Moon, Mercury, and Cancer. Moon, Mercury, Cancer. Just sit with me for a minute here as I channel this out. Moon, Mercury, Cancer. So midweek, especially Wednesday, Thursday, Moon, Mercury, and Cancerian energy. Where are you needing nurturing? Where are you needing support? Are you using your words to get support? This is an energy that comes through the Capricorn full moon. But if you're feeling overwhelmed and you feel like you're not being supported, especially on Thursday, the moon is opposing Mars. We'll come back to this Mercury-Uranus sextile in a second. But Wednesday moving into Thursday, moon opposing Mars, that can be a lot on the mind. Moon in Aquarius. This can be a lot on your heart. There may be a separation of energies from whatever is going on presently in your life. And this may be a good separation. You're now leaving an entity, a relationship, a space that is no longer aligned. That doesn't mean it doesn't make the emotional detachment any less easier. So given that I kept going back and forth in my mind, or when I was speaking, Moon, Mercury, and Cancer, those three were kind of being replaced or interchanged. I just want you to have an outlet, or even if you're writing in a journal, or to ask for support. Even just sending the text, you may not get it per se, but you using your voice to express that you need help will likely go a very long way on Wednesday or Thursday, or both, Wednesday and Thursday. And this can be a challenge for Moon in Aquarius, given it is a moon ruled by Saturn. And often people that possess Moon in Aquarius in their own chart are very strong, often leadership positions, work extremely dutifully, very hard. And so it's harder for them to show vulnerability, because they can usually use their intellect or their work ethic or both to get ahead, and they don't want to seem less than or weak by expressing emotions. But that emotional intensity is going to be coming when the moon is in Cancer, when the moon is in Pisces anyway. So this Cancerian energy, given that both Mercury and the sun are currently there, is being asked of all of us to go deeper into our emotions, to know that it is safe seeking support, that it's okay to be vulnerable and sensitive, and know that's not going to make anything worse or heavier. It's actually going to make things stronger and better. So that's just a key theme, given that we're in Cancer season, given that Mercury is still in Cancer, and especially on Wednesday and Thursday as the moon is going through some intense aspects. And this is also, again, given that Leo rules the heart, the spine, it could be that your heart is physically hurting, or that feels like it's on fire. This could be a beautiful expansion, like you're getting so close, or you already are achieving massive heights or your dreams or goals. But it can also mean that that separation can cause heartbreak, or that you're leaving behind someone or something that you know is no longer aligned, but like I said, doesn't make the hurt any less real. So just being aware of that. Now, also what was coming through just then is that if you don't have the emotional capacity to hold space, and you need to work on your own, then you don't need to accept others' offers in terms of like, hey, do you want to hang out? Do you want to do this? Focusing on what you need and your own healing is going to take a priority Wednesday, Thursday. And then once you've done that, and if your cup is overflowing, then by all means, go out to help and support others. But until then, making sure that Wednesday and Thursday, you're doing what's best to serve you and to support you. Okay? Okay. Now, Friday, things get significantly easier with the moon being in Pisces. Yes, we have that moon-Saturn conjunction. However, the moon is a nice aspect to the sun and Mercury. So I feel like it'll be a nice head-heart recalibration, and things will be abundantly more smooth. We also have the moon in aspect to Jupiter and Uranus. So it just seems like either support or emotional stability or both are likely to come through on Friday. And also, too, if you can take Friday off, you can take a half day, or some you might be keeping summer hours anyway, in the Northern Hemisphere, that is, to just take it easy. Like, that's a very easy or obvious manifestation of a moon Saturn, especially in Pisces. Just like slow down. And if you can schedule something like Reiki, one-on-one coaching, or just take time to further dive into your spiritual practice, spend more time on your spiritual rituals, that would be a very strong energy on Friday, especially with the moon in aspect to Jupiter. If you can slow down and tap into those dreams, or do some planning, or just do some reflection, that'll be a really strong day for that. Also being very aware of your dreams of your intuition being heightened. That's always a very prevalent energy with Moon and Neptune. Now the Moon is getting really strong support from the Sun and Mercury. It's likely that those ideas, that intuition, your speech, words being spells, are to be accelerated and elevated on Friday and Saturday. And we can see here on Saturday, having that exact Moon-Neptune conjunction. This is a really great day for artists, for creativity. And with the Moon still an aspect to Mercury, any type of one-on-one conversations you want to have, being vulnerable, going deeper in any of your relationships, including the relationship with yourself. Very, very strong days to do so. Also, too, if you want to, let's say, get a pedicure, the Moon in Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, which we had an aspect, but also too, Pisces rules the feet. So there could also be, I'm not sure if you had an experience like this when you're so relaxed or you're having that love and support being given to you, like if you're at the spa or maybe a loved one is cooking you a meal and you just get to relax and have them serve you, that there is rapid downloads or being in the recipient of this energy. So if you want to go shoe shopping or get a pedicure on Friday or Saturday, that is a huge check mark from me. And then on Sunday, we have the final day of Mars in Leo. So pay attention to that Leo ruled part of your chart because that is going to be activated. There might be prevalent themes that are coming through. And also we have the Moon in Aries, the Moon making that applied trine to Venus, which will spill over into Monday as well. So this can be a really pleasurable, spicy, expansive day where you get a lot of things done or a lot of things are made abundantly clear, especially with Mars in that final degree of Leo. There might be an opportunity to showcase, or you might be getting ready for some kind of event, speaking engagement, creative outlet that's going to be taking place that next week as we move into mid-July. So this is kind of like, just make yourself happy, go after what you want and allow yourself to be seen and or to shine. This can also be a day too where it's like you're out with loved ones, take a lot of photos, have that jovial celebration, allow yourself to be seen and to be loved and to be happy. That's a beautiful way to end this week. All right. Also, the sun coming in hot and heavy as I'm recording this. So yeah, we were just talking about being seen, this current energy being in support of that. So the astrology question of the week. I've got this in many different forms, but it seems to be coming up again and again and again recently in the DMs and the comments. So I just wanted to give a take on this. Of course, take if it resonates, leave if it doesn't. But essentially the question is, should I be worried about blank transit, whether it's Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, eclipses? A recent DM that I got said, I feel like we're in a calm before the storm. Are there any hard transits that are coming in September, October? First of all, I get a lot of these comments in the DM saying, like, I have Mercury in the 9th and the full moon is going to be in Capricorn. So what should I worry about between the 3rd and the 9th house? And it's always phrased like, should I be worried? Is something going to go wrong? Why isn't it phrased in the sense of, I know there's a big expansion coming. What can I do to prepare? Or not even thinking of it in terms of like, even just think about that. There was that DM I got was from a past client, a lovely client, but it was the calm before the storm. And this is more of a mindset thing than an astrology thing, but a mindset affects astrology because how we perceive these transits. If you always think that there's going to be a calm before a storm and that a storm leads to the next expansion, then you're always going to attract a storm, no matter what. If you think that you have to suffer and that you have to work hard before you are worthy of that promotion, of that love, whatever it is, you will continually attract that. Sorry, this light on my face is like kind of annoying. Whatever. So going back to this, if you always have a mindset that says that a certain transit, like a retrograde, is going to be hard or going to be challenging, that will be your experience. If you believe that certain transits may be challenging, but are going to lead to inevitable blessings, that'll also be reality. Or you can just have the mindset, this is what I have, take it if it resonates, that everything always works out in your favor no matter what. I have stated this in the past, and some of my clients know this, but I've been going through a lot of health stuff this year, stuff that I couldn't even control. I've been in the most pain that I've ever been in my entire life. And to put this in context, I had my jaw broken and I had to have my mouth wired shut for 2 weeks and then a very long recovery. And the pain that I endured this year was more intense than that at times. And for me, I have the South Node. We all have the South Node in Scorpio. I have a lot of Scorpio placements. So I knew that that was likely to take place. And we had that Mars retrograde in Gemini, which spilled over into this year as well. However, I really leaned into prayer in a way that I've never experienced before, praying for my health, praying for miracles, praying with archangels to bless my body. So every day I woke up without pain, it literally was a miracle, because a lot of the doctors were saying some wild things, some things that made me a little anxious and scared. But I knew that I could have autonomy, and I knew that miracles and blessings always happen. So why I'm sharing this is because had I not had this extremely painful event happen where my health was being compromised, I wouldn't have unlocked a new tool, a new ability, a new power to bless myself. So while it was challenging, and oftentimes a south node transit hitting your sun, rising, or moon can be very challenging, it brought so much more blessings and power that I know for a fact I probably wouldn't have received had I not gone through it. So that's what I'm saying. If you feel like, oh, this is going to be hard or this is going to be challenging, honor that. I'm not saying that you have to have toxic positivity, but also know that if you have a base mindset of that everything always gets to work out for you, and there's always going to be blessings, and people always want to see you win, and there's always going to be expansion, then even amongst any kind of difficulty or challenge, it's always going to serve you. And there would be no reason to even fear something in your life, whether it's a global recession, a global pandemic, whatever it is, because you're always protected, because your mind is that foundation for you every single day. So to answer this question in terms of, should I be worried about blank transit? No, you shouldn't be worried. There are things that you can prepare for, but even every professional astrologer will say this, are things that even you know as a professional astrologer that you'll still not be able to fully prepare for. That's also part of the human experience. The last thing I will say is, like, if you are anxious, because I've had clients that are very psychic, very intuitive, and they know that something is wrong. Of course, honor that, go in deeper, meditate, see who you have to contact, see what resource you need to protect yourself. And if you really want to go specifically using astrology, then booking a consult with an astrologer and saying, hey, the South Node's about to go into Libra. I'm a Libra sun. How can I best prepare to handle these transits and the upcoming eclipses that are going to be in the Aries Libra axis? That is a beautiful way to prepare for that. Just like you would prepare for getting married and navigating a prenuptial agreement, or before you go to university and you're going to be taking out debt and you're going to wonder how to pay that back. It's no different. If you have stress or anxiety, you would then ask a professional, or you'd seek out support to help you move through that time with as much ease as possible. And that's also a good, gentle reminder for Wednesday, Thursday of this week, when the moon is in Aquarius, how you can reach out for support, how you can reach out for help to mitigate any mental anguish or turmoil that might result had you not asked for help and support. Okay? Beautiful. So check the description of this video for many resources that can help you throughout this week. I trust this Capricorn full moon will bring imminent blessings and expansion for you. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye.